Welcome, everyone. Today, I do not want to offer you empty words or fake smiles. I do not want to show you a perfect picture of success, because that is not the reality. I want to tell you the truth about how life really works, the truth about why pain is necessary, and the truth about how real success is something you earn, not something you are given. This is not a story about being lucky or having special talents. It is not about someone who had everything from the start. This is a story about a person who had nothing. No confidence, no extra money, no support, and no special skills. But they had one powerful thing. They were willing to face the challenges that everyone else ran away from. And that one simple decision changed their entire life. So find a comfortable place to sit. Forget your doubts for a moment. Forget all the excuses you have been telling yourself. Just listen. Do not listen with your ears. Listen with your heart. This story might be your own story. And remember something very important. Every minute you spend listening to stories like this, your English is getting better without any pressure. Your listening skills are becoming stronger, and your brain is learning in a natural way. You are not just watching a video, you are training your mind. You are building true confidence. You are becoming a better version of yourself, step by step. If this story touches your heart, if it feels real to you, if it feels like the life you are living right now, please subscribe to this channel. Here we do not just give you motivation. We help you grow. We help you think deeply, and we help you learn English through stories that matter. Stay with us. Your transformation has already started. Lesson 1. The invisible prison. He never talked much. It was not because he was shy. Deep inside, he truly believed that his voice did not matter. His name was Evan, and he was 25 years old. No one ever remembered his birthday. No one asked him how he was doing. No one cared about his dreams. He was the kind of person who was always around, but nobody ever noticed him. In college, he always sat at the back of the room. At home, he stayed in his room alone. On social media, he just scrolled through other people's lives. In real life, he was just trying to survive. He watched other people post about their big wins. He saw them celebrating new jobs, buying cars, traveling to beautiful places, and laughing with friends. And he stayed silent. Maybe I am not meant for something big, he used to whisper to himself. He worked a small job, 9 to 5, for very little money. Not because it was his dream, but because it was safe. Every day felt exactly the same. Wake up, go to work, come back home, eat alone, and go to sleep. No one cheered for him. No one said, "You're doing a great job." No one asked, "What do you want from your life?" But the pain of being alone was not the worst part. The worst part was that he started to believe that this was all he was worth. He started to believe that he was not good enough for anything better. And that is how comfort becomes a prison. It does not lock you up with iron bars. It locks you up with your own quiet excuses. Every time he wanted to try something new, he felt scared. Every time he wanted to share an idea, he stayed quiet. He told himself, "I will fail anyway. What if people laugh at me? What if I am not good enough?" And slowly, this need for comfort started to kill his spirit. He stopped learning. He stopped challenging himself. He stopped living. He was waiting for the right time, but the right time never comes if you never start. Lesson 2. The wake-up call. One night, the clock hit 2 a.m. The room was dark, and the ceiling fan moved slowly in the quiet air. Outside, the world was asleep, but inside Evan's mind, a storm was gathering. He stared at the ceiling and whispered to himself, "Is this really it? Is this my life? Just wake up, go to work, eat, scroll on my phone, and sleep? No big dreams, no exciting challenges, just existing day after day." He sat up, walked to the mirror, and looked at his own face. He did not recognize the person looking back at him. "Where did I go?" he asked the reflection. Where's the boy who wanted to do something great? Who promised to build a life he could be proud of? There was no answer, only the heavy silence of the room. That night, he cried. He did not cry because someone hurt him. He cried because he realized he had given up on himself. And the scariest part was that he did not even notice when it happened. You see, Evan did not wake up one day and choose this small, empty life. He just stopped choosing. He stopped taking risks. He stopped believing in his own potential. Comfort took control of his life, one day at a time. He avoided difficult conversations. He ignored new challenges. He made excuses like, I am not ready yet. But slowly, this comfort turned into an invisible prison. Every time he wanted to apply for a better job, fear stopped him. Every time he wanted to share an idea, he stepped back. I will probably fail anyway, he thought. What if people judge me? What if I am not good enough? This comfort started to kill him from the inside, not physically, but mentally. He smiled less. He stopped learning new things. He stopped pushing his own limits. While the world around him was moving fast, while people were failing but trying again, and while others were scared but creating something new, Evan was just waiting. He waited for the right time. He waited to feel ready. He waited for his life to change on its own. But nothing changed because he never dared to step out of his safe zone. He never fought for a better life. And slowly, the biggest lie became his only truth. I cannot do it. It was not true, but because he never tried, he believed it was. Lesson 3. The Mirror of Reality. One day, a childhood friend came to visit. They had not spoken for years. This friend was now working abroad, leading a professional team and building something meaningful. They met for coffee, and as Evan listened to his friend talk about new projects, risks, and big goals, he smiled on the outside, but his heart was breaking on the inside. It was not jealousy. It was a painful realization. We were the same once, he thought. We went to the same school, we were the same age, but now he is out there living his life, and I am just watching from the sidelines. That night, Evan walked home in complete silence. No music, no phone calls, no distractions. Just one burning question in his mind. What happened to me? He could not sleep. He stood in front of the mirror for an hour, then sat down on the floor. For the first time, he did not look for excuses. He looked at the facts. For years, he had stayed in his comfort zone. He did not apply for better jobs because he feared failure. He did not speak up in meetings because he feared judgment. He did not take on new responsibilities because he feared he was not good enough. At first, comfort felt like a soft, warm bed on a cold, rainy day. It felt safe. It felt peaceful. But now, he saw it for what it really was. A prison with invisible walls. He was not resting. He was slowly rotting inside. Comfort did not protect him. It had slowly killed his hunger to grow. Every day he chose the easy way, he lost a piece of the person he was supposed to become. He felt the urge to cry again, but this time it was not from sadness. It was from pure anger. He was angry at himself. He remembered every moment he could have changed his life, but chose comfort instead. The job interview he canceled, the course he bought but never finished, the business idea he kept hidden because of fear. Comfort had given him a gentle pat on the back and whispered, "Do not worry, you are safe here." But it never told him the truth. You are also stuck here. The next morning, Evan woke up and felt something different. He did not feel lazy or numb. He felt wide awake. He took a notebook and wrote down one sentence. Comfort is the most dangerous enemy because it does not scream. It whispers nice things to keep you trapped. I am not untalented, he realized. I am not useless. I am just living in a cage built by my own fear. And today, I am going to break it. Lesson 4. The first real test. I do not care if it is hard. I just do not want to be the same man 5 years from now. That single thought became a seed in Evan's mind. But seeds do not turn into trees overnight. They need water, and in life, that water is action. Evan was about to face his first real test. Let me tell you the truth. The first challenge always feels the most terrifying. It is not because the task itself is impossible, but because your mind is still weak and full of old habits. Evan woke up before the sun. He looked around his room and whispered, "I am not going to waste another day just existing." But saying those words is the easy part. Doing something real is where most people fail. Still, Evan had made a choice to fight his comfort. He opened his laptop to look for freelance work. Some people might say that is not a big step, but for someone who has been hiding in fear, searching for work feels like walking onto a battlefield. His hands were shaking. The inner critic in his head was screaming, "You are not ready. You will embarrass yourself. Do not even try." That is how strong fear becomes when comfort has been your only friend for years. But Evan kept going. He read articles, watched tutorials, and created a basic profile. It was not perfect. It had no reviews and no experience. But this time, he did not let that stop him. A few hours later, he found a job posting. Looking for someone to write a short article about healthy habits, beginners welcome. His heart started pounding. He had never done this before. The fear came back fast, and he almost closed the laptop. But then he remembered his new rule. Pain builds the person I want to become. He took a long, deep breath and sent the message. After clicking send, he felt proud for a second, but then his brain started fighting back. What if they ask for work? What if you mess it up? This is something most people never talk about. Taking the first step is hard, but the fear that comes right after is even worse. He did not sleep well that night. His mind played scary scenarios over and over. But for the first time, he did not quit. He sat with the fear. He whispered to himself, "If I fail, I learn. If I win, I grow. If I run away, I stay the same." The next morning, a reply arrived. The client wanted a sample. This was it. The door was finally opening, and Evan was ready to walk through. Lesson 5. The Inner War. The client replied, "Hi, Evan. Thanks for your message. Can you write a sample paragraph and send it in 1 hour?" Boom. This was it. The first real door had opened. But here is the truth. Opportunity never knocks when you feel safe. It always knocks with pressure. Evan froze. He opened his writing app, typed 2 words, deleted them, typed again, and deleted them again. His self-doubt was attacking him like a wild animal. You do not know what you are doing. Your English is not good enough. Why would they choose you? You are going to look like a fool. He looked at the clock. Only 47 minutes left. Every part of his body wanted to close the laptop and hide. But one small voice inside him said, "You asked for a challenge. This is it. Finish what you started." So he typed. It was not perfect, and it was not expert level, but it was honest, clear, and written from the heart. He followed the instructions, and at 59 minutes, he hit send. Then he closed his eyes, not from relief, but because he was still terrified. An hour passed. No reply. 2 hours. Still nothing. Evan started feeling that old, familiar fear again. You failed. You are not good enough. You tried to step out, and now you will regret it. That is how comfort tries to pull you back in. It waits for you to feel scared again and offers you an easy way out. Quit now. At least you tried. But Evan refused. He reminded himself, this fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that I am growing. Later that evening, a notification popped up. He opened it. The message said, "Great work, Evan. I like your writing. Let us continue with the article. I will pay $25 for this one." Evan did not scream or dance. He just stared at the screen with tears in his eyes. It was not about the money. It was the first time in his life he got paid for doing something he was once afraid of. That $25 felt like $1 million, because it proved one thing: I can. That moment did not change his life overnight, but it changed the way he saw himself. For the first time in years, Evan believed that he could actually build something. He was no longer just a person waiting for life to happen. He was a person making it happen. Lesson 6. The reality of rejection. Life does not always reward your belief immediately. Instead, life tests it. The next morning, Evan woke up with hope. He opened his laptop again, searched for freelance websites, and sent out 10 more proposals. 1, 2, 10. No replies. The first day passed, then the second, then the third. Silence. That small negative voice returned to his mind. See, that first job was just luck. It does not mean anything. Do not get your hopes up. This is the part that most people never talk about. After your first small win, reality hits you much harder, because now you expect progress. But progress rarely moves in a straight line. A week later, Evan finally got another reply. The client asked for a longer article. Evan worked all night, checking every sentence, rewriting paragraphs, and trying his absolute best. He sent the work, but a few hours later, the reply came. "Sorry, this is not what we are looking for. We will go with someone else." That message did not just reject his work, it rejected his confidence. Evan stared at the screen. No anger, no tears, just a deep, heavy feeling in his chest. Maybe I was wrong, he thought. Maybe I am not built for this. That night was even worse than the ones before. Now, quitting felt like a reasonable choice. He had proof. One small success and one painful rejection. His brain did the math. Why suffer like this? Why feel stupid again and again? Go back to your old life. At least it was predictable. This is exactly where most people quit. They do not quit at the very beginning. They quit after they taste a little bit of hope and then lose it. Evan did not tell anyone what he was trying to do. He kept it to himself because he did not know how to explain a dream that had not succeeded yet. So he fought this battle alone. He woke up early, worked his day job, came home exhausted, and opened his laptop every single day. No applause, no encouragement, no one saying, "Keep going." Just silence. And silence is dangerous because in the quiet, your mind becomes your own enemy. One night, Evan stood in front of the mirror again. But this time, he did not ask, "Where did I go?" He asked, "Why am I doing this to myself?" His eyes were tired and his shoulders were heavy. He whispered, "Everyone else seems so happy. Why am I choosing this pain?" And then a realization hit him. A thought so painful, yet so true. Everyone else looks happy because I am only seeing their final results, not their long struggle. Evan began to notice something important. Even though he was failing, even though he was tired, and even though he was lonely, he was no longer empty. He was engaged. He finally had a reason to wake up, a reason to sit with discomfort, and a reason to fight his own limits. Pain had entered his life, but so had purpose. And purpose always hurts before it heals. Lesson 7. The battle inside your head. One evening, after another rejection, Evan slammed his laptop shut. He collapsed onto the floor, feeling completely drained. No energy, no motivation, no strength left. He thought, what if this never works? What if I am just wasting years of my life and end up nowhere? Tears rolled down his face, not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet ones you wipe away quickly because you are too tired to even make a sound. That night, He came so close to giving up. Almost. But in the middle of that breakdown, one question appeared in his mind. If I quit now, will I respect myself 5 years from now? He imagined his future self, still in the same job, still in the same room, still carrying the same regret. And something inside him finally broke. But this time, it was a good kind of break. He whispered, "I would rather fail honestly while trying than succeed by hiding." From that day on, Evan stopped chasing fast results. He started expecting pain. Rejections became a normal part of his routine. Slow days became normal. Doubt became normal. And strangely, that made him stronger. When you expect pain, it loses its power to stop you. Success does not come after pain. Success comes through pain. Pain is not a sign that you are failing. Pain is a sign that you are becoming someone new. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is preparation. Failure is not your enemy. Comfort is. The truth is, stopping is not enough. Quitting comfort is not enough. Even taking action is not enough. Because the real war is not out there. It is not the clients, it is not the job, and it is not the world. The real war is inside your own head. Every morning, Evan woke up with two voices in his mind. One said, "Let us go, you are building something." The other whispered, "You are wasting your time, go back to sleep." One voice pushed him forward, and the other pulled him back. This was not a one-time fight. It was a battle he faced every single morning. This is the war everyone faces, but almost no one talks about because it is invisible. You can hide your failures from others. You can smile through your pain, and you can tell everyone you are doing fine. But inside, you are battling your own doubts, your own habits, and your own identity. And no one claps for that invisible struggle. Evan realized that if he did not control his mornings, his mind would control his entire day. So he made a rule. Wake up at 6, no matter what. It sounded simple, but the first morning he woke up and heard the familiar voice say, "Just 10 more minutes, you need rest," he almost agreed. But then he remembered, this is not about sleep. This is about self-respect. And he got up. That was his first win of the day. And in this part of life, small wins matter more than big motivation. Lesson 8. The Quiet Transformation. The world still did not know Evan. He had not gone viral, he had no thousands of followers, and he had no fame. No one was cheering for him, and no one was calling him successful. But for the first time in his life, he was showing up every single day. And that simple daily action was creating a completely new version of himself. Transformation is never loud. It is not a dramatic movie scene with music and applause. It looks like waking up when you feel tired. It looks like choosing focus over distraction. It looks like doing small, boring things daily, even when no one is watching. It is falling, failing, but continuing anyway. It is forgiving yourself for yesterday and restarting without any drama. Evan's life did not magically become easy. He still had his job, he still faced rejections, and he still dealt with moments of doubt. But now he had a system, and systems always beat motivation. Every morning, he woke up at 6. He wrote his 3 affirmations. He stayed away from his phone for 2 hours. He did one hard thing before breakfast. Whether he felt excited or empty, he showed up for his dream. It was not always fun, but it was powerful. Each day added a tiny brick to the foundation he was building. And bricks over time become walls. Walls become rooms. Rooms become a home. He was building the home of his new identity. Comfort still whispered to him. Distractions still called his name. Fear still visited him, but now they no longer controlled him. Why? Because Evan had stopped negotiating with his own weakness. When his mind said, "Let us just skip today," he replied, That version of me is gone. He did not say it with anger, he said it with peace. Because true power is not about shouting at your weakness. It is about no longer giving it your time. One day, he looked at his journal and saw this entry. Day 47. Woke up early. Sent 3 new job proposals. Rejected again. No problem. Still proud. Still calm. Still going. That line hit him hard. Still proud. Still calm. Still going. He had crossed a point that most people never reach. He was no longer working to prove himself to others. He was working because this was who he was now. He was learning for the joy of growing, not for the sake of results. Before, Evan needed likes and praise. Now he respected himself for the work he did in the silence. He respected himself for trying again after failure. He respected himself for staying focused while others were distracted. That self-respect was quiet, but it was unshakable. I am not better than anyone else, he thought. But I am better than the man I was 6 months ago, and that is enough. Lesson 9. How to take challenges to get success. Most people believe that success only arrives when life becomes comfortable. They think that one day fear will disappear, confidence will arrive, and everything will finally feel easy. But here is the truth. That day never comes. Growth never begins inside a comfort zone. Real growth starts the moment you step into something difficult, unfamiliar, and uncomfortable. That moment is a challenge. If you are waiting for success without struggle, you are not being patient. You are waiting for an illusion. A challenge does not have to be something extreme. It is not always about quitting your job or changing your entire life overnight. A real challenge is anything that forces you to stretch beyond who you are today. It could be speaking up when you usually stay silent. It could be trying again when you usually quit. It could be starting a project even though you feel unready. A challenge makes your heart hesitate and your mind resist. That resistance is not a warning to stop. It is a signal that growth is right there. Challenges are necessary because comfort never builds strength. First, challenges break laziness. Laziness only survives when nothing pushes back. The moment you choose something difficult, your body and your mind are forced to move. Second, challenges reveal your weaknesses. This is not failure, this is clarity. You cannot improve what you refuse to see. Third, challenges reshape your brain. When you face difficulty, your brain adapts. It learns to focus, endure, and solve problems. Comfort creates a weak mind. Challenges create a strong one. Finally, challenges build courage. They do not remove fear, but they prove that fear does not control you. Each time you act despite the fear, you quietly tell yourself, I can handle this. That small sentence, repeated over time, becomes true confidence. If you are looking for the right challenge, remember that it should feel uncomfortable but possible. If it feels impossible, you will freeze. If it feels too easy, nothing will change. Growth lives in the middle. If you fear speaking English, the challenge is not to be perfect. The challenge is to speak a little every day, even if your voice shakes. If discipline is your weakness, the challenge is not to be perfect. The challenge is to do one hard thing each morning before your comfort zone takes over. There are only 3 things you truly need. The first is clarity. You must know why this challenge matters to you. Pain without meaning leads to quitting, but pain with meaning builds strength. The second is commitment. Motivation will come and go, but commitment stays when motivation disappears. Make your challenge specific so excuses have no place to hide. The third is consistency. Do not focus on the results in the beginning. Focus on showing up. Some days you will feel strong, and other days you will feel tired or doubtful. That does not mean the challenge is wrong. It means the challenge is working. The moment you say yes to a challenge, your future changes direction. Not because success appears immediately, but because you stop running from growth. You do not become successful in one day, but you become different in one decision. The decision to face discomfort instead of avoiding it. Take the challenge, stay with the discomfort, let it shape you. And one day, without any noise or showing off, you will realize that you have become someone stronger than you ever imagined.